We told you just to be in your house at this time. We told you just being with your people. Abba Yahweh also told you for just opening our eyes to this way, showing us the way of truth. Help us, Abba Yahweh, to stay in that way all the days of our lives. Help us, Abba Yahweh, to not stray, but to stay focused on the things that you have promised us. Abba Yahweh, continue to be with your people in these last days. Yahweh, protect us from all wickedness, all chaos, anything that is not of you in this world. Help us not to focus on these worldly things, but help us to focus on the heavenly things that you have promised. Yahweh, keep our bodies, our souls intact. Give us good health, Abba Yahweh. Help us, Abba Yahweh, to take great delight in all the things in your Torah. Help us to want to follow you and do your will at all times. Yahweh, continue to be with all of your children, all of Israel, near and far. Help us to come up to the mark that you want us to be at, Abba Yahweh. Help us to be examples unto others. Help us to teach even the youth your ways, so the youth may grow up in your ways and delight in it and continue in it forever and ever. Yahweh, protect us from Shaitan and his traps, his snares. Protect us from all the slaying that they do in the streets. Protect us from any amount of wickedness, evil that is spreading through this earth. Protect our foods, Abba Yahweh, as we eat. Protect our water as we drink, Abba Yahweh. And during this time, Abba Yahweh, continue to cleanse our vessels. Help us to stay in the right way and not sin any longer. Yahweh, to the wicked, give them due justice. Give them their due that they deserve. All the things that they have done in this earth. Slay the wicked, Abba Yahweh, those that have slayed others, slayed the prophets, slayed Yahshua HaMashiach. Abba Yahweh, continue to shake them, continue to back them down in their darkness, continue to be with your people and show your people that you are with them even in this dark world. In Yahshua HaMashiach's name we pray. Hallelujah. House of Israel, you may be seated. I welcome all that are in the House of Israel this very evening. I say it's tough to just be in the house of Abba Yahweh, just to be amongst people of one like mind. I told everyone that are tuning in on the live stream, we welcome you also. And we pray that Yahweh be with you at all times. We pray that Yahweh just protects you, like we always say, from all the wickedness that is going on in this world. Pray if you are stressed or just need comfort. Pray that I'll be Yahweh comfort you through whatever you may be going through in this world. Because whenever we are going through something, we have to cry out to Almighty Yahweh. He is the only one that is going to protect us. He is the only one that is going to be there for us. So it's on us that we cry out to our Abba. That's what he wants us to do. He doesn't want us to forget him, because each and every day we live our lives. Sometimes we may forget different things that he has done, but we don't want to forget our Yahweh. We don't want to put them off to the side. We want to take time each and every day of our lives, recognize our Yahweh and give him all the praise that he well deserves. Today, I would like to start reading from the book of Tehillim. This is Psalms 139. And it says, O Yahweh, you search me and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways. Before a word is on my tongue, you know it completely, O Yahweh. You hem me in, behind and before. You have laid your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too lofty for me to attain. Where can I go from your Ruach? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I rise on the wings of dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me. Your right hand will hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness will hide me and the light become night around me, even the darkness will not be dark to you. The night will shine like the day, for darkness is as light to you. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in a secret place. When I was woven together in the depths of the earth, your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. How precious to me are your thoughts, O Yahweh. How vast is the sum of them. Were I to count them, they would outnumber the grains of sand. When I awake, I am still with you. If only you would slay the wicked, O Yahweh. Away from me, you bloodthirsty men. They speak of you with evil intent. Your adversaries misuse your name. Do I not hate those who hate you, O Yahweh, and abhor those who rise up against you? I have nothing but hatred for them. I count them my enemies. Search me, O Yahweh, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting. Hallelujah. So Israel, like in this Psalms, he says, the psalmist, look into me, look at my ways. If there's anything wrong that I am doing, correct me. Put me on the right path so I can see salvation. That's when we come out of the feast that we had, Pesach, Feast of Unleavened Bread. That's what that was all about. He's cleansing us. And us being sincere, we partake in that feast and come out of it saying to Almighty Yahweh, we vow that we will follow you. We vow that we will put our old self behind us and follow in the new way. Have a new mindset to want to do his will. But then he also says, for the wicked, slay the wicked. All the things that they have done in this world, all the things that they have done to his people, Yahweh, give them their due reward. Because he says, I should hate those that hate you. You shouldn't want to follow in wicked and evil men's ways. You shouldn't want to envy them and their wealth and all the things they have of this world. You should want to stay far away from that, because that leads to destruction. So, like he says, he said he doesn't like anything that they do. He wants to follow in the ways of Yahweh. So on us, we have to do the same way. We have to do the same thing. We have to follow in the ways of Yahweh and not want to do things of the wicked. So coming off of that Psalms, that leads to my message. The message this evening is destruction and terror will come upon the nations, because they live their lives, go about each and every day and think nothing's going to happen to them. They do their evil and think, okay, they're not going to get punished for all those things. But they're deceived. It's that mindset that, okay, they think nothing's going to happen. They have a wicked and evil mindset that's going to lead them to destruction. And even through destruction, they still not going to want to turn. Even through talking to them over and over again, telling them the things in this Torah that you should not do, they're not going to do it. That's why we can't like anybody that hates Almighty Yahweh. We can't like anyone that even hates Israel. So you want to be friends with the world. You can't be friends with the world, because they not friends with you. They don't care anything about you. They go about their lives just to please themselves. They don't care nothing about the people. But if we follow Almighty Yahweh and we seek Yahweh out and know what Yahweh wants, we know that Yahweh loves his people. And Yahweh is going to be there for his people. And through all that goes on throughout this world, he is going to protect you from whatever comes down the line. Because there's going to be a day where his wrath is going to come to this earth. He's going to protect his people from that wrath. The people they don't know Yahweh's power yet. See, if they would just turn now, Yahweh is giving time, but the time is winding up. If only they would turn from their wicked and evil ways, but they're not. They're not going to do it, because Yahweh is very merciful. But like I said, they're not going to turn. So when that day comes, it's going to sneak up on them like a thief in the night, and they're going to wish that they did turn. But like I said, the wicked are not going to turn, but Israel, Yahweh's people, we just have to continue each and every year as we follow Yahweh, keep his feast, to continue to cleanse ourselves, because he's preparing his people for something great. All right, so now I want to go to Book of Proverbs, because like I said, the wicked are going to get their due reward. And Israel, we can't gloat, we can't be happy, make fun of people when they do get rewarded for doing evil, because Yahweh does not like that. It's Proverbs 24. This is Proverbs 24, starting at 17. It says, do not gloat when your enemy falls. When he stumbles, do not let your heart rejoice, because this is not a game. Yahweh is not playing. When he brings that wrath, that is no thing to laugh at. And then he's saying, okay, don't gloat, because they do that to you. So you looking just like the nations when you go out and you gloat about somebody that has got punished about something that they have done. What does set you apart from them? You following just in the ways of the world. So it says, if you do this, Yahweh will see and disapprove and turn his wrath away from him. And who knows, he might get it towards you. Okay, you laughing at this person because I punished them. Okay, I'm gonna turn my wrath from them and turn it on you. We don't want that. It says, do not fret because of evil men or be envious of the wicked. You know, they having a good time right now. But like I said, their time is running out. And you remember with the rich man and Lazarus, you know, he said, okay, you had your fun. You had your pleasure in this lifetime. It's come to an end. Now it's Lazarus' turn to have his pleasure, have his delight, because he didn't have it in that lifetime. So that's the same thing with us. We have to follow Almighty Yahweh and not want to envy those in the world, want to have everything in this world. Because like I said, he has something great waiting for you. Something that outweighs way past the things of this world. So if we can just endure and just bear it for a little while longer, you will get your reward. It says, for the evil man has no future hope, and the lamp of the wicked will be snuffed out. Fear Yahweh and the king, my son, and do not join with the rebellious. For those who for those two will send sudden destruction upon them. And who knows what calamities they can bring. Like I said, they don't know yet the power of Almighty Yahweh. They don't know. There's different things in the world today, people get frightful of. That ain't nothing. Different earthquakes, different tsunamis, hurricanes. You think that's something? Wait till Yahweh brings his wrath. It's gonna be like no other thing in the world before. So, like I said, that should scare us. That should scare the world. But like I said, the wicked and the evil men, they not gonna be scared. They just gonna go about doing what they do. They're gonna be scared in that day though. So Israel, that should get us to fall in line. Us to not want to do wickedness so we can fall in that wrath. Let's go to Yeshayah. This is Isaiah chapter 29. This is Isaiah 29, starting at verse 15. It says, woe to those who go to great depths to hide their plans from Yahweh, who do their work in darkness and think, who sees us? Who will know? That's the wicked. They do this stuff. They think no one sees them. All these killings that they do in the streets. They say, okay, I didn't do it. But Yahweh sees all. Yahweh is recording every single thing that you're doing. He's not going to forget anything that you're doing. He's not going to forget about this person was slain in the street. That person was slain in the street. Oh, nah. And then for his children, for you to do that to his children, you're really going to have to pay for that. Because Yahweh, like I said, he loves his children. And he's not going to let them get away with that. So it says, you turn things upside down. You see that in the world. The world is upside down now. Everything Yahweh says to do, that's not what the world is doing. They're doing the complete opposite. It says, do not murder. They murder. Do not steal. They steal. Commit adultery, fornication. They do all the things that Yahweh does not permit. But like I said, they're going to have to pay for that. It says, as if the potter were thought to be like the clay. Shall what is formed say to him who is formed? Who formed it? He did not make me. Can the pot say to the potter, he knows nothing? People walk in the world today, they don't realize that, okay, Yahweh is giving you breath to breathe. Yahweh is giving you the limbs to walk, to function. But you know, people in this world, they just think that everything that they do is of them. They don't think it's from Yahweh. They forget Almighty Yahweh. So that's not what we want to do. We want to recognize the things that He has done. He's given us that breath of life because He can take it away just like that. Anything that we do that is not pleasing to Him, He can strike us right then and there. But like it says, the wicked, they go about, they even think they above the Most High. Now that's foolish right there. They think they have power now. They have power now because they have all their weapons. They have all their wealth. That's nothing. All this stuff is going to perish along with them. So they will get their due justice. Like I said, they continue to do wicked. And they just piling on sin upon sin. And that's just digging a deeper hole into the pit. So that destruction and terror is going to follow them all the days of their lives. Let's go to Yeshayahu 47. Yeshayahu 47, starting at verse 6. It says, I was angry with my people and desecrated my inheritance. I gave them into your hand, and you showed them no mercy. See, we done Almighty Yahweh wrong. That's why things have befallen on us like it's done. But they have took it too far. Yahweh does not like how they have treated his people. You know, they have gone through, like we were just talking about. He just killed a 15-year-old boy. Come on now. Just doing shooting after shooting, continually getting away with it. Or you think you're getting away with it. But you keep killing people in the streets, thinking that no one's going to see it. But Yahweh sees all, like I said. Now, it says, even on the age, you laid a very heavy yoke. You said, I will continue forever, the eternal queen. But you did not consider these things or reflect on what might happen. Like I said, the wicked ain't reflecting on that. They don't care. They're going to continually do what they do. But like, if they really sat down and reflected on, okay, the things that I'm doing, they're going to come right back on me. I should stop that. But they're not going to do that. They're going to continue to do that forever and ever until Yahweh brings his wrath. But you did not consider these things or reflect on what might happen. Now then, listen, you creature, longing in your security and saying to yourself, I am, and there is none besides me. See, the wicked mind, the foolishness, none beside me, thinking they better than the Most High. Thinking that, you know, like I said, if they keep going on thinking that they're not going to get punished for the things that they do, they must think that, okay, I'm better than the Most High. I can do all things. I have all the power in the world. That's foolishness. But like I said, don't they deserve something like that? If you will continue to do the wickedness in the world, continue to go against Yahweh's people, continue to hate Almighty Yahweh. Now it says, he says, I will never be a widow or suffer the loss of children, thinking he's invincible. But of these it says both of these will overtake you in a minute, on a single day, loss of children and widowhood. So you think, okay, these things not going to befall me. I'm invincible. I can just walk in this world and do whatever. Yahweh, like I said, he can do anything just like that. And if you get too out of hand, he'll strike you down right there to get you to see that Yahweh is not playing. But It's tough. It's good if Yahweh does correct you in this lifetime. So you can see, okay, he's not playing and to get back on the right path. But if Yahweh waits and just let you go on your sin, waits to that day of judgment, it's too late. You can't want to turn in. When that day comes, there's no turning back. You can't plead to Yahweh to stop the punishment. Nope, you get what you deserve. So it says, they will come upon you in full measure. In spite of your many sorceries and all your potent spells, you have trusted in your wickedness and have said, no one sees me. Your wisdom and your knowledge misled you when you say to yourself, I am, and there's none beside me. See that mindset, reprobate mind, and leading them in the wrong direction, and they think they're doing right. That's the sad part about it. They think all the wickedness in this world, they're doing right. They doing what Yahweh's telling them. That basically because Yahweh sent Israel to the nations because of our transgressions, scattered us. So they saying in their minds, okay, I'm doing what Yahweh wants. That's foolish. It says disaster will come upon you, and you will not know how to conjure it away. See, that disaster comes, you ain't gonna know what to do then. You're gonna panic and then cry out then, but it's too late. A calamity will fall upon you that you cannot ward off with a ransom. A catastrophe you cannot foresee will suddenly come upon you like thief in the night. Yahweh ain't gonna say, okay, this day, that's when I'm gonna come. No, Yahweh is gonna sneak up on you. You know, days of Noah. They kept telling the people, you better turn. You know, this is going to be a day when Yahweh is going to flood the world and sweep all the inhabitants out of the world. But they didn't believe it. They just kept on going on with their wickedness. Then when the flood did come, that's when they wanted to turn. But then it was too late. It says, keep on then with your magic spells and with your many sorceries, which you have labored at since childhood. Perhaps you will succeed. Perhaps you will cause terror. All the counsel you have received has only worn you out. Let your astrologers come forward, these stargazers who made predictions month by month. Let them save you from what is coming upon you. So you don't want to rely on Yahweh, the one that created all things. Okay, find someone else that's going to help you out when that day comes. Let's see who's going to help you out then. This is, they can't even save themselves from the power of the flame. Here are no coals to warm anyone. Here is no fire to sit by. That is all they can do for you. These you have labored with and trafficked with since childhood. Each of them goes on his error. There is not one that can save you. See, Yahweh is saying, okay, you keep going. When that day comes, who you going to cry out to? Who you going to ask to help you out? You surely ain't going to help yourself. So you better get right now while you had the chance. Because when that day comes, there's no turning back. Let's go to Yeshaya 26. So I said that wrath comes, Yahweh's people, those that were sincere, those that were following him all the days of their lives, Yahweh is going to protect them. Yahweh is going to shield them from all the wrath that is coming upon the earth. So in Yeshaya 26, starting at verse 20, it says, go, my people, enter your rooms and shut the doors behind you. Hide yourselves for a little while until his wrath has passed by. See, Yahweh is coming out of his dwelling to punish the people of the earth for their sins. See, he messed up. Yahweh had to come down. Yahweh Yahshua has to come down now. You went too far with it. And now he had to bring his wrath to the earth. Just like Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, they went too far, so he had to rain that fire down on the people. It says the earth will disclose the blood shed upon her. She will conceal her slain no longer. All this bloodshed in the streets. Just imagine from way back until up to now, all the blood that has been shed all over. Just like Cain, how he did his brother Abel. Cain slew Abel for no apparent reason. No reason at all. But he was jealous, so he did it. And his blood cried out to Yahweh in the streets. Now, don't you think Yahweh hears all the blood is, the life is in the blood. So all this bloodshed that's in the streets now, it's cry out to Yahweh. And Yahweh, he sees that. And he, each and every day, is making them more and more angry. You know, he provoking them to a point, like I said, he's going to have to come out of his dwellings and deal with him. But the wicked, they don't care. They're going to continue to do it until that day comes. Now, it says, enter your rooms and shut the doors behind you. You remember in Egypt, Passover, he said, put the blood on the doors, right? Go in your houses, do not come out. So when he seen the blood on the doors, he knew not to go to that dwelling. But those that didn't have it, he went and slew the firstborn. So the same thing. His people going to be protected. But all others, and it's going to be way worse than what that was. And all others, they're going to get their due reward. So that's to the nations. You continue in your wickedness, you continue to slay the people. Well, that day is coming where that's going to end. There's a day coming where all evil, all sin has to go from this earth. Because he has to cleanse this earth in order to put his kingdom down. To have his kingdom have great shalom. You can't put the kingdom down on filth and wickedness. So when that day come when his kingdom comes, no more wickedness, no more evil, no more wars, no more fighting. It's just going to be nothing but peace in those days. That's what we should look forward to. Because we lived in this world for so long and seen all the chaos that is going on. Each and every day, it seems like it's getting worse and worse. So it does stress you out sometimes. It does depress the mind sometimes just to see all this going on in the world. But just imagine one day you're not going to see that anymore. All the wicked is going to vanish like they didn't even exist. Just imagine a day like that. That's what we striving for, Israel. This is not just any way of life. This way of life, this you want to keep to the very end. This is worth striving for. Because like I said, this is going to lead to salvation, everlasting life, and it's going to lead to that great shalom, like I said earlier. Let's go to Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel 35. Starting at verse 5. It says, because you harbored an ancient hostility and delivered the Israelites over to the sword at the time of their calamity, the time their punishment reached its climax. Therefore, as surely as I live, declares Yahweh, I will give you over to bloodshed, and it will pursue you. Since you did not hate bloodshed, bloodshed will pursue you. Like I said, that the things that you've done unto people, those things are going to come right back on you. It's only right. But like I said earlier, don't gloat about it. Don't rejoice about someone that's going to get that wrath, that punishment. Just know that if we follow in his way and continue in it, that we'll make it. But Yahweh is going to look out for his people and give the wicked their due reward. I will make Mount Seir a desolate waste and cut off from it all who come and go. I will fill your mountains with the slain. Those killed by the sword will fall on your hills and in your valleys and in your ravines. I will make you desolate forever. Your towns will not be inhabited. Then you will know that I am Yahweh. I like how he says, then you will know. Because when he acts, the world will take note. When he acts, the wicked will know, okay, I did something wrong, but then it's going to be too late. It says, because you have said these two nations and countries will be ours, and we will take possession of them, even though I, Yahweh, was dead. It says, therefore, as surely as I live, declares Yahweh, I will treat you in accordance with the anger and jealousy you showed in your hatred of them. And I will make myself known among them when I judge you. See, Israel will know, okay, Yahweh is with us when they get their due judgment. Israel will know, okay, we will have to follow Almighty Yahweh. If they didn't know before, they will know we have to obey Almighty Yahweh at all times because he is giving the wicked their due reward. It says, then you will know that I, Yahweh, have heard all the contemptible things you have said against the mountains of Israel. You said they have been laid waste and have been given over to us to devour. You boasted against me and spoke against me without restraint, and I heard it. Like I said earlier, they thinking they doing things of Yahweh. They thinking they fulfilling what Yahweh wants. The slay the people because we have been scattered. But no, that's not what Yahweh wanted. It says, you boasted against me, spoke against me without restraint. So if you talk about the Most High, if you think you better and bigger than the Most High, you deserve what's coming to you. If you hate the one that created all things, how you think you're going to make it? It says, this is what Yahweh says. While the whole earth rejoices, I will make you desolate. There's going to be a time, like I said, when Yahweh brings his kingdom to this earth. It's going to be nothing but happiness and joy. They're going to get what they deserved because they endured throughout their lifetime. They're going to get their reward for following Yahweh. So it says they will rejoice. But on you, he's going to turn that wickedness, that wrath against you. It says, that is why, that is how I will treat you. You will be desolate, O Mount Seir, you and all of Eden. And then they will know that I am Yahweh. So when the wicked, they get their wrath, Israel is going to get that joy, that peace that they deserve, that they followed Almighty Yahweh throughout their lives. And the wicked will see. They will see the joy and the things that you have. And they're going to be sorry for that because where they're going, it's going to be nothing but destruction. It's going to be nothing but sheer terror. That in that pit of fire. So they gonna want that what you had. They gonna want, okay, we shouldn't have followed Almighty Yahweh, because they're gonna see the great things that Yahweh has had in store for you all. But like I said, it's too late then. So let's go to book of Yeshaya again. This is Yeshaya, Isaiah chapter 24, starting at verse 17. It says, terror and pit and snare awaits you, O people of the earth. Whoever flees at the sound of terror will fall into a pit. Whoever climbs out of the pit will be caught in a snare. So there's nowhere that's going to be able to hide. When that destruction comes, you know people are going to flee. You know people are going to be frightful, not knowing what to do. They're going to think they can go somewhere and be safe. It's not going to be safe. Wherever you go, Yahweh is going to find all the wickedness and evil that you do. It says the floodgates of heaven are open. The foundations of the earth shake. The earth is broken up. The earth is split asunder. The earth is thoroughly shaken. Like I said, they think earthquakes now are bad. When Yahweh brings that great earthquake down to this earth, like I said, he's going to get everyone's attention. It says the earth reels like a drunkard. It sways like a hut in the wind. So heavy upon it is the guilt of its rebellion that that it falls, never to rise again. And that day Yahweh will punish the powers in the heavens above and the kings on the earth below. They will be herded together like prisoners bound in a dungeon. They will be shut up in prison and be punished after many days. So it's going to be, you can imagine just seeing a prison with all the people and they gathered together. Yahweh's going to gather all the wicked together and slay them. It says, the moon will be abashed, the sun ashamed, for Yahweh Almighty will reign on Mount Zion and in Jerusalem. So all the elements, the moon, the sun, stars, all of those are going to get out the way for Yahweh Yahshua when he splits through those heavens and bring wrath upon the earth. All, like I said, is going to take notice, even nature. Nature is going to take notice also and follow Yahweh's commands. Let's go to Revelations. This is Revelations chapter 14. This is starting at verse 14. And it says, I looked, and there before me was a white cloud, and seated on the cloud was one like the Son of Man, with a crown of gold on his head and a sharp sickle in his hand. Then another angel came out of the temple and called in a loud voice to him who was sitting on the cloud, take your sickle and reap, because the time to reap has come. For the harvest of the earth is ripe. See, all the things, like I said, gotten to a point where, it's gone too far. So Yahweh comes, the earth is going to be ripe for that destruction. Now, just imagine, like it says, a harvest. Just imagine when you plant your food, and at the end, when it's time to harvest, you pluck up that fruit, right? Then you, I want to say eat it, but devour the food. See, the same thing with the wicked. You're going to pluck them up. They're going to get devoured by the flames. So he's saying, we're in the last days. The world is getting more and more ripe for his wrath. So he who was seated on the clouds swung his sickle over the earth, and the earth was harvested. Another angel came out of the temple and and Shemaim, and he too had his sharp sickle. Still, another angel who had charge of the fire came from the altar and called in a loud voice to him who had the sharp sickle, "Take your sharp sickle and gather the clusters of grapes from the earth's vine, because its grapes are ripe." The angel swung his sickle on the earth, gathered its grapes, and threw them in the great winepress of Yahweh's wrath. The wine press, that's crushing the grapes. Then the grapes, when you get that juice out of the grapes, it does look like blood. So that's going to happen to the inhabitants of the world. You can shed all this blood on this earth. So blood is going to be shed from you. See, everything comes back around. It's a cycle. Everything comes back around and comes back to you. Say, they were trampled in the winepress outside the city, and blood flowed out of the press, rising as high as the horse bridles for a distance of 1,600 stadia. So that's about 200 miles of blood. Now, see, that's what I'm saying. All the bloodshed that they have done throughout the life, throughout back in the day until now, that same thing is going to come back on them. And their blood is going to be in the streets. Their dead bodies are going to be in the streets because of all the things that they have done to Yahweh's people. Like I said, the things in his Torah, some of these things should scare us and show us that Yahweh is not playing. Scare us in the way that we should follow in his ways and not want to sin, not want to stray. Just follow him until the end, because this is not funny. This is nothing to play with. He's talking about bloodshed. You know how people say all the time, Yahweh is love. Yahweh's love, all right. But Yahweh has an anger side also. And if you cross that line, you are going to get that wrath that he talks about. That bloodshed, that pit of fire that they talk about. Those things we must not want. But like I said, the wicked people their minds are off. They reprobate mind. They're not even thinking about these things. They're just thinking about things that they can do against Yahweh's people. And that goes to Shaitan. That's all Shaitan right there. See, Shaitan has come down to the earth and deceived the whole world. And Shaitan, he can't get at Yahweh, so he's going to go at the children of Yahweh. So that's why he's going to try to get any and everybody to stray, especially those that are in Israel, because he already has the world. But those that are following Yahweh's ways, he's going to come at you harder. He's going to try to get you to stray, try to get you that's not of Yahweh. And don't see it strange, because every day he's working. Every day he's on his job. So every day, us as Israel, we should be on our job. We should be on our job in a way that we continue in his ways. We keep him in our mindsets, Almighty Yahweh, and not be distracted by those things. Because like I said, we seek out that Ruach, his Holy Spirit. If we seek that out all the days of our lives, none of that stuff can enter our vessels. None of that stuff can get us to stray and do the things that Yahweh didn't command. Let's go to Isaiah 63. This is Yeshaya 63, starting at verse 1. Who is this coming from Edom, from Basra, with his garments stained crimson? Who is this, robed in splendor, striding forward in greatness of his strength? It is I, speaking in righteousness, mighty to save. Why are your garments red, like those of one treading the winepress? I have trodden the winepress alone. From the nations, no one was with me. I trampled them in my anger and trod them down in my wrath. Their blood splattered my garments, and I stained all my clothing. Since for the day of vengeance was in my heart, and the year of redemption has come. I looked, but there was no one to help. I was appalled that no one gave support. So my own arm worked salvation for me. Yahshua, HaMashiach. And my own wrath sustained me. I trampled the nations in my anger. In my wrath, I made them drunk and poured their blood on the ground. See that? It's going, like I said, it's going to come right back around on you. All the bloodshed, don't even think about what you're doing. You just want to get at Yahweh's people. You just want to cause nothing but terror and chaos in this world. But those things must reverse. Those things must flip around because Yahweh is nothing but right, justice. There's no falsehood in him. There's no evil in him. He's all about righteousness. So he wants everything done like he wants it. So if you're not doing what he wants you to do, he's going to slay you. He's going to bring that wrath. And it says, pour their blood on the ground. Like I said, like what Cain did to Abel. And his blood cried out to Almighty Yahweh. So that will come back around on you. And then remember when he asked Cain, okay, what have you done? Where's your brother at? He said, am I my brother's keeper? So Yahweh already seen it. But he's trying to tell Yahweh, I don't know what happened to him. Was I supposed to be looking for him or something? But like I said, Yahweh sees all. You can't get nothing over on him. The wicked in their mind, they think they are, but that's not going to happen. Let's go to Joel. Joel chapter 3. Joel 3:1 says, in those days and at that time, when I restore the fortunes of Yehuda and Jerusalem, I will gather all nations, bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. There I will enter into judgment against them concerning my inheritance, my people Israel. For they scattered my people among the nations and divided up my land. They cast lots for my people and traded boys for prostitutes. They sold girls for wine that they may drink. You see all types of wickedness going on in this world. I mean, things that you don't know how the mind could fathom doing things like that. But the wicked, they come up with things like that. It says, now, what have you against me, O Tyre, O Sidon, and all you regions of Philistine? Are you repaying me for something I have done? If you are paying me back, I will swiftly and speedily return on your heads what you have done. It's like, what are you doing this for? You repaying me back for something that I did to you? I don't think so. But since you're doing it, he said, I'm going to do it swiftly. He's not going to prolong it year after year after year. No, when his wrath comes, it's going to come swift and speedily. So when it comes, the wicked are going to vanish, like I said earlier. They're going to be like they wasn't even born. It's for you took my silver and my gold and carried it off, my finest treasures, to your temples. See? But all that stuff, you just holding it. That's Yahweh's stuff. The silver, the gold. You just holding it for the righteous. Because the righteous Yahweh is going to give you riches. Those that stayed in the way, those that stayed with him forever, those things are going to be laid up for the righteous. Like it says in Proverbs 13:22, the wealth of the wicked are for the righteous. That's what they're just holding it for Israel. It says you sold the people of Yehuda and Jerusalem that you might send them far from their homeland. It says, see, I am going to rouse them out of the places to which you sold them, and I will return on your heads what you have done. It says, I will sell your sons and daughters to the people of Yehuda, and they will sell them to the Sabians, a nation far away. Yahweh has spoken. See, when Yahweh speaks, when Yahweh does anything, can't go against that. Yahweh says something, he says what he means, and he means what he says. But you're going to get people in Judgment Day that's going to try to snake their way out of what they have done in their lifetime. Yahweh, I didn't mean to. No, he knows you meant to do that. He knows the hearts of every man's mind. So you can't lie to Almighty Yahweh and think you're going to succeed. It says, proclaim this among the nations. Prepare for war. Rouse the warriors. Let all the fighting men draw near and attack. So Yahweh say, okay, get your best men. Get everybody out that wants to go against me. Let's see who's going to win. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weakling say, I am strong. Come quickly, all you nations from every side, and assemble there. Bring down your warriors, O Yahweh. Let the nations be roused. Let them advance into the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there I will sit to judge all nations on every side. Swing the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, trample the grapes, for the winepress is full and the vats overflow. So great is their wickedness, so great that he had to come out of his dwellings and deal with you. Says multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. So it's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna have to deal with Yahweh's wrath. A lot of people that went against Almighty Yahweh didn't care at all. A lot of people that shed innocent blood, they're gonna have to pay for it. It says, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. See, it's time winding up. We are in the last days. I don't know if people think they got forever to change. People think they have forever to, even come to this way of life. The time is winding up. If Yahweh opens your eyes to this truth, you had to stay in it. If Yahweh shows anybody in the world that eyes are closed, stay in it. Because this is nothing to be played with. Yahweh is love, like I said, but after a while, his mercy is going to end. After a while, that wrath is going to come and you're going to wish that you did follow Almighty Yahweh. You don't want it to come to that point. Let's go to Second Chronicles, because I want to go to a story in Second Chronicles that's kind of similar to this. How Yahweh is going to protect his people and how Yahweh gets the nations to gather up and get destroyed. So Second Chronicles chapter 20. This is King Jehoshaphat. And he heard about these nations that were going to come up against him to battle, to make war. So when he heard this, he cried out to Yahweh like we should do when danger comes. Cry out to Yahweh Ask him to help. So when we go into this, we're going to see how Yahweh helped Israel. So 2nd Chronicles chapter 20, starting at verse 1, it says, the Moabites and the Ammonites with some of the Mennonites came to make war on Jehoshaphat. Some men came and told Jehoshaphat, says, a vast army is coming against you from Edom, from the other side of the sea. So Jehoshaphat talks to Almighty Yahweh, pleads with Almighty Yahweh to be with them if these nations are going to come up against them. Now, this is what he says, and I want to go to verse 12. He says, O Abba, will you not judge them? It says, for we have no power to face this vast army that is attacking us. We do not know what to do, but our eyes are upon you. See, that's what we had to do. We had to rely on Almighty Yahweh. We can't think that we're going to go out and overthrow these nations. What do we have that we're going to overtake the nations? Do we have lots of guns, tanks, ships, aircrafts? We don't have none of it. But, a lot of people want to go out and overthrow some stuff in the world, not knowing that we have to rely on Yahweh. We have to wait on Yahshua when he comes and bring his army. Because we can't go up against the things that they have in this world. So that's why he says, our eyes are upon you. Let's go to verse 20. So it says, verse 20, early in the morning they left for wilderness of Tekoa. As they set out, Jehoshaphat stood and said, listen to me, Yehuda and people of Jerusalem. Have faith in Yahweh your Abba, and you will be upheld. Have faith in his prophets, and you will be successful. After consulting the people, Jehoshaphat appointed men to sing to Yahweh and praise him for the splendor of his holiness as they went out at the head of the army. Now, it had to be something you going out to, think you going out to war. You have people out there that's singing to Almighty Yahweh. Now, that singing had to be pleasing to Almighty Yahweh. Because if it sound messed up, then Yahweh, he probably will not help you out. Now, that singing had to been pleasing because when we read down here, you see what happened, what Yahweh did for them. Because they thought they were going out to war. They thought they would have to fight. So it says, give Todah to Yahweh, for his love endures forever. As they began to sing and praise, Yahweh set ambushes against the men of Ammon and Moab and Mount Seir, who were invading Yehuda, and they were defeated. The men of Ammon and Moab rose up against the men from Mount Seir to destroy and annihilate them. After they finished slaughtering the men from Seir, they helped to destroy one another. So Yahweh had them to turn against each other. Didn't even have to go out and fight because Yahweh saw that they were pleasing. That singing also must have pleased Almighty Yahweh. Hallelujah. So it says, verse 24, when the men of Yehuda came to the place they overlooked in the desert, they saw the vast army. They saw only dead bodies lying on the ground. No one had escaped. Just like that day of wrath, when that comes, it's not going to be nothing but dead bodies everywhere. Bloodshed. It says, so Jehoshaphat and his men went to carry off their plunder, and they found among them a great amount of equipment and clothing, and also articles of value, more than they could take away. It says there was so much plunder that it took 3 days to collect it. Now, like we were saying, that the wealth of the wicked laid up for the just. That's similar to what we just went into. Now it says at verse 29, the fear of Yahweh came upon all the kingdoms of the countries when they heard how Yahweh had fought against the enemies of Israel. That fear. They seen what happened to them. They was like, okay, we better get in line. Now, that goes into the future. After all the things happen, the wrath, he's going to have mercy on some people in the nations and have them be in the kingdom and being taught of the ways of Yahweh. So they are going to see what happened in the wrath of Yahweh. They want to see all the slain that happened with the wrath of Yahweh. So just like this, the fear of Yahweh came upon all the kingdoms of the countries when they heard how Yahweh had fought against the enemies of Israel. And the kingdom of Jehoshaphat was at peace, for his Abba had given him rest on every side. Now that goes to his kingdom. After all that goes on, Yahweh slays the wicked are vanished. Like I said, in his kingdom, it's not going to be anything but peace in his kingdom. Rest all around. Just similar to what happened King Yehoshaphat. So that's why I wanted to bring that out, because it kind of points to things to come. Let's go to Revelations chapter 19. And I'm going to start at verse 17. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, who cried in a loud voice to all the birds flying in midair, come, gather together for the great supper of Yahweh, so that you may eat the flesh of kings, generals, and mighty men, of horses and their riders. It says, and the flesh of all people, free and slave, small and great. So there's going to be a day, all that slain. Just imagine how many birds are going to be out there eating that flesh. Just imagine all this slain. You can see just one dead animal in the world today, all the birds that swoop down in that. Just imagine in that day, Yahweh is going to command those birds to eat that flesh. It says, then I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against the rider on the horse and his army. But the beast was captured, and with him the false prophet, who had performed miraculous signs on his behalf. With these signs, he had deluded those who had received the mark of the beast and worshiped his image. So that's why we had to be in tune with Almighty Yahweh, because Shaitan, the devil, he's going to have some power. He's going to show different signs in this world that people are going to be fooled and following it. So with his elect, the elect are not going to be fooled. The elect are going to know that this is of Shaitan. And you should know you're not supposed to get that mark anyway. But that for people that, like right now, he's preparing his people, like I said, to that point. So we'll be strong, so we can be able to stand in that day. Now, you know, it's going to be some that not going to be able to stand because they're looking at it like, okay, I need food. I need something for my children. So I must take the mark. But like when the children of Israel, they went into the wilderness, had to rely on Almighty Yahweh. Yahweh is going to provide for you. So we can't look to the world and think the world is going to help you out. That mark is only going to lead you to that pit of fire. It says, the two of them were thrown alive into the fiery lake of burning sulfur. The rest of them were killed with the sword that came out of the mouth of the rider on a horse, and all the birds gorged themselves on their flesh. See, that things in this book that don't wake people up, I don't know what will. You know, some people, excuse me, they want to see it first. They don't believe because they don't see it. That's you don't want to do that because when you see it, it's too late. So we have to have faith in Almighty Yahweh and believe the things that He says in this book. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 14. Starting at verse 12. It says, this is the plague which with Yahweh will strike all nations that fought against Jerusalem. It says their flesh will rot while they are still standing on their feet. Their eyes will rot in their sockets, and their tongue will rot in their mouths. On that day, men will be stricken by Yahweh with great panic. Now, they give you a visual sometimes on these movies when someone is being set afire. You can see the eyes burn up and rot, the flesh rot away. Same thing with that. It says, each man will seize the hand of another, and they will attack each other, like we just talked about in Yehoshaphat, when Yahweh made them attack each other. It says Yehuda too will fight at Jerusalem. It says the wealth of all the surrounding nations will be collected, great quantities of gold and silver and clothing. So, like we were saying, that wealth that they have, they enjoying it now. They think, with all their wealth, they can just get anything in the world. And that's right there shows us on TV. It kind of brainwashes people to show them that this is what you want. You want to try to get everything in this world. They try to brainwash the people, showing you the different athletes. They got these cars, big houses. They show you that's what you want. That's what you need in life. Man, actuality, that stuff we shouldn't even be focused on. In actuality, we should be focused on the heavenly things, those things that He has promised us. Not saying that we shouldn't have cars, we shouldn't have houses, but that shouldn't be the main focus in your lives. Main focus in your lives should be walking this way of life to make it to see salvation. Let's go to Yeshaya chapter 14. Starting at verse 2. So it's going to be a day where those other nations, they're going to have to come to Israel. They're going to have to humble themselves. Like it says, those that exalt themselves will be humbled. Those that are humble will be exalted. So 14:2 of Isaiah, it says, nations will take them and bring them to their own place, and the house of Israel will possess the nations as men servants and maid servants in Yahweh's land. They will make captives of their captives and rule over their oppressors. See, the roles are going to be reversed. Like I said, it's a full circle. Everything that's happening now is going to happen unto you. It says, on the day of Yahweh, Yahweh gives you relief from suffering and turmoil and cruel bondage. You will take up this taunt against the king of Babylon. How the oppressor has come to an end. how his fury has ended. Yahweh has broken the rod of the wicked, the scepter of the rulers, which in anger struck down people with unseasoned blows, and in fury subdued nations with relentless aggression. See, they relentless. They just keep doing it over and over again, not knowing the consequences that are coming. It says all the lands are at rest and at peace. They break into singing. Now it's gonna be a day when, like I said, no more of the things of the world, no more of the chaos, the wickedness, the evil, just being in peace. That's gonna be singing right there. All the people are gonna rejoice. And this, you could tell people are going to just be crying with joy, just knowing that they made it. Verse 8. Verse 8 says, even the pine trees and the cedars of Lebanon exalt over you and say, now that you have been laid low, no woodsman comes to cut us down. Even in nature are going to rejoice because they know things are going to be restored back to what it was. That is beautiful right there. Just everything is going to be restored back to the way it was in that garden. That when Adam and Mother Hawa, they enjoyed peace in that garden. They could look up in the skies and see the angels. They could see different things we can't see right now because we have transgressed. Yahweh is taking those things from us. But just imagine all the things that are going to be in that garden. All the joy that is going to come from that. Like I said, that right there should get us to want this, to do Yahweh's will until the end. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 28. And like I said earlier, all of this is because of Shaitan. You know, the devil, he has come to the earth and he has deceived the world. Let's look at Shaitan in Ezekiel 28. This is verse 12. It says, you were the model of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You were in Edom, the garden of Yahweh. Every precious stone adorned you, ruby, topaz, and emerald, onyx and jasper, sapphire, turquoise, and beryl. Your settings and mountains were made of gold. On the day you were created, they were prepared. You were anointed as a guardian of cherub. For so ordained you. You were on the Kodesh Mount of Yahweh. You walked among the fiery stones. You were blameless in your ways from the day you were created till wickedness was found in you. Through your widespread trade, you were filled with violence and you sinned. See, he was up there with Almighty Yahweh. He was great. Then all of a sudden he wanted to, just like the world, think you better than Yahweh. Wanted to take over. When no, Yahweh is that great I am. Yahweh is the one to follow. But you know, in the world, it's always going to be one that want to overtake someone else. Always going to be one that think they better than the other person. So and that spirit is in people this day. It says, so I drove you in disgrace from the mount of Yahweh, and I expelled you, O guardian cherub, from among the fiery stones. Your heart became proud on account of your beauty, and you corrupted your wisdom because of your splendor. You see that also. People in the world, they think they look good, think, they have all this beauty. So They proud, think they better than everyone. Just that same spirit. It says, so I threw you to the earth. I made a spectacle of you before kings. By your many sins and dishonest trade, you have desecrated your sanctuaries. So I made a fire come out from you, and it consumed you. And I reduced you to ashes on the ground in the sight of all who were watching. All the nations who knew you are appalled at you. You have come to a horrible end and will be no more. So he gonna be the last man standing. Last one is gonna have to be humiliated in the streets because what they had done to salvation. They humiliated Yahshua HaMashiach. They brought him through the streets. They spat on him. They hit him. All the cruelty that came about him, it's going to be the same thing on Shaitan. Then people are going to say, oh, is this the man that caused all of this? This man? He did all of this chaos? He going to get back what he has done unto this world. And then, like I said, he's the last man. So, last man standing, he's going to be the last one thrown into that pit. So, the wicked, the nations, all that want to do your own thing, all that just hate Almighty Yahweh with all your guts, all they want to continue to go against Israel, his people. He's got something coming for you, something that you're not going to be able to bear, something that you will not be able to come back from. So he gives this time right now for all that want to follow him to do it right now. But the longer you wait, hey, the longer you keep digging a hole for yourself, you digging your own grave. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 2. Isaiah chapter 2, starting at verse 2. Hear, O heavens, listen, O earth, for Yahweh has spoken. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14:12. Still talking about Shaitan. Says, how you have fallen from heaven, O morning star, son of dawn. You have been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nations. You said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven. I will raise my throne above the stars of Yahweh. I will sit a throne on the mount of assembly, on the utmost heights of the sacred mountain. I will ascend above the tops of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. See who was talking about that? People in the world think the same thing. They think they at Yahweh's level or above him. But you are about to go down to the grave, to the depths of the pit. Those who see you stare at you. They ponder your fate. Is this a man who shook the earth and made the kingdoms tremble? The man who made the world a wilderness? Who threw his cities and would not let his captives go home? See, says, is this the man that has done all of this? So he's going to be shown to the people and be disgraced in front of the people. It's only right. All the things that he of all has done in this world. Like I said earlier, he's flipped everything upside down, even the people in the world. So they just do wickedness and evil and think it's right. I want to go to the book of Hanak on my closing scripture and talk about the just and the wicked, what both will get. And this is the book of Hanak or Enoch, chapter 108. And it talks about keeping the Torah in the last days. It says, ye who have done good shall wait for those days until an end is made of those who work evil, and the end of the might of the transgressors. And wait ye until sin has passed away, for their names shall be blotted out the book of life, and out of the Kodesh books, and their seed shall be destroyed forever, and their spirits shall be slain. And they shall cry and make lamentations in a place that is a chaotic wilderness, and in the fire shall they burn, for there is no earth there. And I saw there was something like an invisible cloud, for by reason of its depths I could not look over it. And I saw a flame of fire blazing brightly, and things like shining mountains circling, sweeping to and fro. And I asked one of the Kodesh angels who was with me, and said unto him, what is this shining thing? For it is not a heaven, but only the flaming of a blazing fire, and the voice of weeping and crying and lamentation and strong pain. So you can hear all the pain and the voices of the people that were in that pit. And he said unto me, this place which you see, here are cast the spirits of sinners and blasphemers, and those who work wickedness, and those who pervert everything that Yahweh has spoken through the mouth of the prophets, even things that shall be. For some of them are written and inscribed above in the heaven, in order that the angels may read them, and know that which shall befall the sinners, and the spirits of the humble, and those who have afflicted their bodies, and been recompensed by Yahweh, and those who have been put to shame by wicked men, who love Yahweh and love neither gold, nor silver, nor any of good things which are in the world, but gave over their bodies to torture. So this walking in this world, we all gonna have to suffer some things. We all are gonna go through things in this lifetime, but like I said, we can't focus on those things of the world. We have to focus on Almighty Yahweh and what He has commanded. It says, who, since they came into being, longed not after earthly food, but regarded everything as a passing breath, and lived accordingly. And Yahweh tried them much, and their spirits were found pure, so that they should bless His name. And all the blessings destined for them I have recounted in the books, and He has assigned them their recompense, because they have been found to be such as loved, because they have been found to be such as loved heaven more than their lives in the world. And though they were trodden underfoot of the wicked men, and experienced abuse and reviling from them, and were put to shame, yet they blessed me. So all the things we went through in this lifetime, we still gave Yahweh the praise. We still follow Him. Sometimes you go to different things, you want to give up, you want to quit, can't do that. You got to continue with Almighty Yahweh and cry out to Him. You see it plenty of times. People go through things, just give up. But Yahweh doesn't want you to give up. Yahweh wants you to rely on Him and rely solely on Him so He can lift you up from whatever you're going through. It says, and now I will summon the spirits of the good who belong to the generation of light, and I will transform those who were born in darkness. who in the flesh were not recompensed with such honor as their faithfulness deserved. And I will bring forth in shining light those who have loved my Kodesh name, and I will seat each on the throne of his honor, and they shall be glorified for times without number. So times without number, that's forever. For their righteousness is the judgment of Yahweh. For to the faithful he will give faithfulness in the habitations of upright paths. And they shall see those who were born in darkness led into darkness, while the righteous shall be resplendent. And the sinners shall cry aloud and see them resplendent. And they indeed will go where days and seasons are prescribed for them. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So they're going to see, like I said earlier, things that are going to come about Israel while they are burning in that lake of fire. You can hear the shame, the wickedness, all the pain that they're going to suffer in that pit. That pit, that fire is going to burn forever. It's not going to quench. So Israel, I just encourage you to keep in the way, stay in this, because we don't want to turn our backs on Yahweh and fall into that wrath, that destruction and terror that's going to come to this world. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So that concludes my message, Israel. We can all stand as we go into prayer. I'll be Yahweh. Be with us. I'll be Yahweh. Put your Ruach on us. Help us to walk upright. Yahweh, order our steps right, to walk in that straight and narrow path to salvation. Help us, Abba Yahweh, to take this way of life serious. Help us, Abba Yahweh, to want to do your will and not to stray. Help us to even teach our children to follow in this way of life all the days of their lives. Abba Yahweh, look over us as we leave this place, as we go into the roadways. Shield us, Abba Yahweh. Help us to get to our destination safely. Help us, Abba Yahweh, to get a good night rest on your Shabbat and wake up in the morning ready to come to your temple, give you all the praise that you well deserve. In Yahshua HaMashiach's name we pray. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.